Hi everybody, this is Cal, and oh my god, Morgan Stanley Mike Wilson sees S&P 500 drops minimally to 3,400. That's 500 points away from the current price right now. Currently now the S&P 500 is trading at 3,900. Now 500 points multiplied by my own mathematics, that means that the Dow Jones will need to drop by another 4,000 points to hit that level. Do you think that the S&P 500 can really go down to 3,400? Well, let me share with you, okay? But before that itself, disclaimer apply as usual, and thank you AIMS for supporting us. Now, the thing is this, remember this counter BBBY. Remember this counter, Bed Bath and Beyond? Now this counter was surging all the way up from $8 all the way up to $28 at one stage. And there were many phone calls coming in asking me, Cal, can they buy this? Because they tell me that they heard some news about people say that this counter is overly shorted. Hence, therefore, it might be going to $50 and even $100. I tell my friends is, look, the way it goes up is very suspicious because there's too many gaps, too many pull tails, and the volume itself is ridiculous. It's like 10, 20 times. So I tell my friend to be very, very careful. And oh my goodness, look at the counter right now. From the high of almost $30, right? The high is $30. It has came back down all the way back to $7 as of yesterday. And oh my god, there are people who lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in the market. Alright, so what actually happened is that there is now ongoing investigation on the CFO, and which interestingly now he have jumped to his death. Alright, apparently the Bed Bath and Beyond CFO death came in recently. Alright, what he did is that he actually jumped off from his home. That particular skyscraper is called Jenga. Okay, so the thing is this, he literally leaped from his home and died. Okay. Now the thing is that the interesting part is that Mr. Arnold and company was sued on August 23rd over accusation of artificially inflating the firm's stock price in a pump and dump scheme. Alright, so this is something interesting because he sold off his shares right at a high which you just saw earlier. Now the thing is that I went deeper and I noticed that the wife's statement was that he was okay, he was just fine at home, and then after that, right, out of nowhere, he decided to leap. Okay, and the thing is that days before that, he was just coming up plan to do all the closing of the stores and relocating of workers and stuff like that. So he doesn't seem to be a guy who is like traumatized or in problem. He just like out of nowhere he did this. So I cannot deny this. The first thing that came to my mind was this particular scene from Wall Street, whereby we know that this particular character actually jumped to his death because the company itself was sold at I think $2 or $3 in the movie, and that it was a prelude because before the market actually crashed. So all this thing comes back to me, and I felt that right, sometimes these are the telltale signs that when things happen in this way before a market goes into crazy movement, right, this could be telling you something. Alright, so on the 5th of April this year, I already mentioned to you that this guy called Mike Wilson is in my checklist to watch, and definitely, right, he has said correction is slightly imminent, and I already confirmed with this, and I said that yeah, I believe so. I think that he will be spot on. So the thing is that round, right, just for the quick joke here itself, right, you can see that Jerome, tell me in one word how the market is going, and Jerome Powell replied, good. Is a parody, obviously. Alright, then tell me in 2 words then, not good. I like this joke, so sorry for that. The thing is this, okay, Mike Wilson says that right now, the market low is still going to continue. He believes that since that there is Federal Reserve has said there's more pain coming up, which I mentioned it yesterday, so most likely there will be another drop. And he's been pretty spot on, you can say that. And he gave a target of minimum 3,400 in quarter 4. This means that from now onwards until December, and this is pretty scary. So let me explain to you why he said all this. Now, first of all, you can see that this is a tough year for majority stocks, right? Whether it's Russell 3000 and 2000, the value have been coming down into kind of negative zone, and this is done by Morgan Stanley Research. And of course, you can see at the same time itself, right, the 200-day average itself shows that the market breadth rebound is losing attitude. And this means that if the market loses I think this is a 50-day, not too clear on this, there's a pretty good chance that this may come down all the way to the new low, and that will break basically down to 3,400. Now the thing is this, you can see on the side note as well that the bonds are now modestly outperforming stocks since April, but it's poised for more. Alright, so you can see right now, right, the S&P 500 versus the US aggregate index, right, is at this peak right now. And of course, usually when such a thing is continuing itself, right, we'll get to see recession coming soon. And of course, at the moment now, right, you can see that it is from 1999 itself, right, there seems to be a very clear resistance around this area here for the MSCI ACWI. So most likely we're going to see a little bit more pullback, and that is one of the few reasons why he felt that, right, 3,400 is really not too far away. And of course, the current PE ratio now is really deteriorating. It's kind of bad right now, and it's likely going to continue over here itself. So you can see at the moment the equity risk premium is near the low level, and of course the yields are still mounting higher, and most likely the yield is going to break past to 4% in my personal perspective. Okay, so that's the reason why I felt that, right, that is a good reason why this Mike Wilson is saying all this right now, and he has been pretty spot on, and I think that we have to be very, very careful. So for the alternate market news right now, right, you can see that the stock puts have again increased. All right, so the index ETF puts has went down a little bit, but the stock calls and index calls are down, and the puts are moving upwards. Now the last time we see this as well, right, the market actually have a big rally, but of course that time we have the QE involved. But now with QT involved, is a different thing altogether, and that is whereby you should be kind of careful. And of course, if you actually believe in patterns, apparently people have been sending this around and telling you that, right, the current situation now of 2022 seemingly has a relative coincidence with 2008 movement. And the thing is this, if we are actually looking at it in the terms of month by month, it seems that, right, September will be a very volatile period, and oh my god, October to November could be very, very bad. Now I'm not too sure that will we follow the same thing and drop by 39%, but I believe to drop down to 20 to 25% in my perspective, most likely it will be happening. So that's the reason why I felt that as a trader, you should be very careful and pay attention to all these details, so that at least, you know, when things comes to that point itself, right, you know what to do. Okay, all right, so that is for Mike Wilson. Let's look at the chart right now and see what do we have for today. All right, now for the US market, as you can see right now, the US market today, let me just bring in my my little toolbox here itself. Okay, so you can see over here that in the market we have the Dow Jones again do not have the pivot today, so the OP will be the key marker. So today's support itself will be at 31,049. Now this is a very strong support for the BNB. It's a new BNB altogether. Now the KSI retained as red, so that means the selling pressure will still be available in the market. Now if the market continue to fall, there's a good chance that Dow Jones may come down to this level here, and that's 30,663 series. Now this is going to be bad if this really happen. So traders, you need to be very careful on this. You should watch out for that. Now for the Nasdaq, let's take a look right now for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is trying to firm itself above the pivot 1. Now today is a consecutive day whereby we get to see a inverse pivot. So if the market failed to stay above 11,983, there is a good chance that the Nasdaq will come down to 11,885 range. Okay, so traders, watch out for this figure, 11,885 level. The S&P 500, let me just take a look right now, S&P 500. Oops, hold on there. Now S&P 500 is also a inverse pivot today. This is the second consecutive day, and S&P is going to hold at 3896. Now 3896 is a pivot 2 level. If the market loses 3896, this would bring it all the way down to 3834 level, 3834. So this is the level that traders need to pay attention detail. But the KSI is green at the moment right now, right? There could be some support around the BNB SL level at 3886. Okay, this is the support level, 3886. So traders, you need to watch this level here. Okay, all right. Now that is the 3 US indices. Now Nikkei is down today quite a fair bit. When it went below the pivot 2 27,610. It went below all the way. It came down to the MA 200, found some support there and rebounded pretty strongly. But the KSI retained red color, so likely chance there'll be more selling later this week. Okay. Now for the Hong Kong market, right, it has came down and triggered the BNB at 18,854. This is the level that I mentioned a couple of days ago. I mentioned that the market will touch this BNB level, and indeed it really happened. Now the KSI has maintained rate all the way over this period of time. Hence, therefore, even when the market recovered from this point here, which the market rallied up nearly 1,500 points, you can see the market gave back all the gains in just for 5-6 days. Okay, so that is the reason why when KSI is red, you need to focus and stay on the sell side in whenever there's a sell opportunity. Now for the DAX. Now DAX at the moment now is moving and is below P2 right now, but it's still currently above the opening of the day. Now it's resisted at MLP now at 12,774. Now once the market goes below OP itself, right, there is a chance and possibility that the DAX may come down all the way to 12,478, and that's a KCB level. So traders, please take note of this potential downside. All right. Now KSI has maintained red color at the moment now, so most likely there will be some more selling. Okay. Now for the China market, it's still on the way downwards, although there's some recovery today, but I don't think this will stand, and I still believe that the the China A50 will come down all the way to this technical point here. That's roughly about 12,900 level to find the first support. Yeah. So traders, watch out for this area here. And let's look at the oil market at the moment, crude oil. Now, crude oil is still coming down, and now it's at $85. Now, the thing is this, all right, as long as the economy is not doing well, there is a good chance that the crude oil may have to come down all the way here to 83.40 level, all right. 83.40 is the BNB extension minus 1 times 1. And from the KSI jump right now, there's a pretty good chance that we will see crude oil coming down to 83.40. So of course, with this oil price coming downwards in this manner, undeniable, inflation could be coming down. But the inflation, if it's coming down slow to like 7.9 and it's still there, then of course the only way to be comfortable for it to go down lower is to increase interest rate further. So this will create more pain. So even though inflation now is lowering, but because they need to really press it all the way down to comfort zone, that means that interest rate has to keep on climbing. And of course, if interest rate goes up, as we can see from the chart right now, let's take a look here itself, you can see, right, that will push the yield even higher. Now, currently the yield now for the 10-year yield is trading at 3.33 already. Now, a few days ago, when I was talking about this at 3.32, and I'm telling you that this is just going to be a stopper here, it will push up higher, and it is coming in. The last time we see this was back in June, and that is where the market pulls back. But this time around, I believe you're going to go past all the way to even 4%. Okay, and because of that, we can see very clearly the US dollar is surging. Now, this is Japanese yen, so let's just check the US dollar right now. Give a minute. Here we go. The US dollar is moving up very nicely, and I give you the strong support over here at about 107. I mentioned that it will go higher, most likely going to go towards 112 level. Now, this is a very strong move, and because the interest rate factor is really making this all happening. All right. So if the crude oil is going to come down, then naturally there's a very good chance that the gold prices will also be going down. Now, gold prices went up recently. All right, went up to a high of 1726, but failed and pulled back all the way. So most likely, I believe that gold may have to come down because today is trading below 1710 pivot 2 level. There's a pretty good chance it will retest 1695, and of course, if this is going to go lower, this could actually bring the market down even further. So it could go down to about 1680 level. So traders, you need to watch out for this. Yep. Okay, so that is gold. And how about silver? Silver has tried to recover yesterday, but there was a very heavy selling in the market because of the US dollar. So that brought back silver back to down $18. Now, I still don't think this is a good time for you to buy into the market right now. Just wait for a moment, let the market slip in and let the US dollar go all the way higher. And once the inflation is really coming down and the stock market is kind of cheap, then it will be a good time to buy into gold and silver. Okay. And of course, last but not least, we can see the movement of the cryptocurrency. Now today, Ethereum has came off, is below pivot 2, is below MLP. So without a doubt itself, right, today Ethereum likely chance to see 1422, very high chance to see that. So traders, you need to watch out for this. And Bitcoin, as I had told you before, Bitcoin, as long as it's selling, there's no way the equity market is going to go up, and it's all happening right now. So today, the Bitcoin, the support is at 18,382. It has to stay supported. If the market basically break 18,382, I can be very certain to tell you that we might see 17,137 in a couple of days' time. Because at the moment now, you can see that my indicator itself, right, is still telling me the selling pressure in the market is kind of high. All right. So today have been a pretty good topic for shared with you. I hope that you guys have benefit from it. This is Cal signing off. Bye-bye.